is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flagrant Talk Sports Podcast. And today, the MLB has made its return. It's been a full year, some could say,
Yeah.
since we've seen MLB. Little joke for y'all, sorry.
Setting it off
Last
right.
October, season ended with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Rangers pulling out an unbelievable World Series run.
Crazy.
And another season is upon us with the first spring training game being played today.
Yep.
Big blowout by the Dodgers, 14-1 over the San Diego Padres, who just got blitzed from the jump.
Yeah.
And the game was over. But Zay, how are we feeling, man, about baseball being back? Because I felt good. It was a great day.
It was so nice to see on ESPN to click through and click a real spring training game. No more speculation, no more hearing about offseason stuff, which, there's a lot of free agents, so we're still going to in that department.
Yep.
But seeing a real game was awesome. And I said it in the end of our last video, I don't think I've been more excited for an MLB season. So I'm excited, man. How are you feeling?
As a Red Sox fan, it's going to be a tough watch.
Yeah.
But as a baseball fan, I am
Here we go.
very excited for this year.
Here we go, baby.
And today was just a little glimpse of that as we got one game and my day was complete. I can't lie.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So I'm excited to jump on in this vid. We're going to be talking about, a couple moves that went down this offseason, lots of big moves.
Yeah.
Lots of guys still on the board that could definitely sway some things. And, definitely just talk about a couple things here and there. I got a Red Sox rant that I'm going to give at some point in this video when the time is right.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I don't know what else we got. Just going to be kind of free flowing, fluid vid today. So Zay, what do you want to dive into first, man? Where do you want to start? Start in an area, start with
So for viewers, we want this video to be more loose. Mo and I haven't really talked about topics. We kind of just want it to be like a free-flowing convo talking about storylines ahead of the season. We'll probably do like a division predictions vid, maybe in its own video, but we'll probably touch on a lot of things in this video. I kind of want, that to be what it is. So I feel like
first look.
This is exactly first look. We got a long season. It's still spring training, so we got a lot of time, to really gear up, see the new players on new teams, see the teams come back, see some of the young guys with more experience. I'm starting, and I'm sorry, with the AL East, and I'll save the Red Sox for you.
Yeah, we can do that last, just like their position in the standings. But
just how loaded it is, and listen, we're used to it, but with Baltimore really rising to the level they did last year, this division is incredible. Like, it's loaded. You have the Yankees, they're the Yankees. Need we say anything else? The Juan Soto move is massive. Definitely, maybe it's the piece. Yeah,
everyone has their own opinion. I think it is. I'm gonna cut to the chase. Yeah, I think he is about to thrive in New York. Obviously, he's been doing it his whole career since he was on the Nationals, winning a World Series at, I believe it was 20 years of age. Like, just he's had success since the jump. So, and he played well in San Diego. Pretty bright lights over there. They just couldn't get it going, couldn't get it done. The Yankees, obviously, one of the brightest lights, if not the brightest in the majors, and rough season for them last year, underwhelming considering the expectations that they had. And I think Juan's gonna be that guy for them. Obviously, Aaron Judge went down with a little injury, which sucked for them, but Carlos Rodon came over, didn't really do his thing, struggled. He's gonna be a huge part of their run this year, but I'm expecting the Yankees to win the AL East, if not the American League. And
yeah. I think if I was making a division prediction today as well, I'd have the Yankees atop the AL East, and that
Mhm.
is a really, really strong division. Like,
Yeah.
all of the moves they made, and kind of touching on free agency, the potential signing of a Blake Snell. I know he was offered a contract like a month ago
Mhm.
and turned it down, and he's still kind of lingering on that market. I know the Yankees are still in touch with him,
Yeah.
but they have the opportunity to get better, and that's what
Sure.
makes them dangerous.
Mhm.
Is if this is their end season roster, they're going to be deadly. But the
Yeah.
fact they can add another piece of their pitching, they can make a trade if they want to add, an upgrade to their offense, whatever they want to do. It's New York. You will always have that opportunity.
100%.
It's the advantage of the big market is
Yeah.
players want to play for the Yankees.
Mhm.
It's a reality.
That's how it
Um,
goes.
so you've got them. You've got Toronto, tried and true. You know they're going to be solid pitching. They just seem to get it done, and to get in the postseason consistently is what it feels like. You have Baltimore, young, up and coming. I kind of drew the comparison to the Oklahoma City Thunder for the NBA, where they're just young and hungry. And
Mhm.
I think, as you called at the time, them getting bounced in the playoffs in the fashion they did could bring them back with a little bit of like fire to start this year. I would not be surprised to see them come out hot.
They made a huge trade too, picking up Corbin Burns from the Brewers. Um, he's proven filth and probably number one in their rotation, if not two. They got a solid rotation over there in Baltimore. A
Yeah.
lot of young guys that they developed that kind of came out of nowhere, had their best seasons last year. So
Mhm.
definitely going to be watching out for them because, yeah, after getting swept in the fashion they did, they're going to be wanting to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then you have a team like Tampa, who kind of similar to the Blue Jays. It's so weird with Tampa because even when you're down on them, I feel like they almost like it. They
Yeah,
like you counting them out. They've been to the postseason the last 5 years. They're just one of those teams that you can't count out ever. Like,
they're just steady, solid. They get contribution 1 through 9,
yes.
complete rotation, complete bullpen. It's just they're a true team,
Mhm.
baseball team. They get it done in every area. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of what makes them dangerous, is like,
Mhm.
of these 5 teams, you get a good feeling about all of them. And then there's Tampa, where you're like, I can't I can't just cross you out. Like, I'm gonna pick Baltimore over you. I'm gonna pick the Yankees. I'm probably gonna pick the Blue Jays over you. But that doesn't mean you can't finish ahead of one of them in the standings. Like,
For
that would not
sure.
surprise me. So,
Yeah.
and
The
then
I have a feeling, just real quick, the AL
yeah.
East, I think first place Yankees, they're gonna run away a little bit with a little bit of a lead, but
Mhm.
that 2, 3, even 4 can make it into the playoffs too.
Agreed.
That 2, 3, 4 battle, it's gonna be tight between the Jays, Rays, and Orioles. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's a mosh pit of a division, is
Mhm.
what it feels like. And
100%.
it's very top heavy, but it's very, very quality. And then there's the Boston Red Sox. I'm not even going to speak. Take it away.
Rafael Devers said it perfectly the other day when asked. The Boston Red Sox didn't do nearly enough to be prepared for this season. There were lots of talks about opening up the the paycheck, opening up the paybook, opening it up, giving out cash, getting guys in, and didn't really come to fruition. Didn't really happen. We traded away Alex Verdugo to our rivals, the New York Yankees, for not a lot, especially at the moment. You never know how trades go. Things could happen, guys could develop, but it's just tough to see that go down. Brought in Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals, which I love. He's solid, similar to Verdugo, got a little power, got great defense, but just nothing really sway me as a fan that we're going to have a good year. Not saying that even if we did make a couple big signings that we wouldn't be last in the AL East with how good of a division it is, but just as a fan wanting to see the attempt after telling us you were going to attempt is what I was expecting, what I wanted to see. Our biggest signing is a guy coming off a really shaky year, coming off of multiple teams, their waivers, their trades, Lucas Giolito. Hope he has a great year for us, but as a fan, not what I want to see, and clearly our star player agrees. So I don't know if you got anything on top of that, but
you touched on it perfectly when you mentioned that they had said that they were willing to spend big money, that they were willing to put a team around Raf, around some of those guys that can be competitive, that can be competent. Hey, we might not win a World Series this year, but best believe you will see an improvement. And for the next, we're going to set the table. We're going to set ourselves up nice. And if you're a fan, as you are, that's all you can hope for is show me you care. Please.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No. But you've got Raf now on this big contract. You can build around him, and essentially they're punting the year.
Yeah.
Like, what is, for you as a Red Sox fan, what is like a realistic, like over under 80 wins?
Like, if I was betting,
yeah,
I'm probably going under. If I was I hope over. I hope, but
of course,
your line is like, that's like a perfect line. The 80s, I see us being right in that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like it could be more in the 75 win, the 70s. I could see you maybe eclipsing 80. Maybe you go 81, 82, but it's like there's not that like fire as a fan where you're like, hey, I'll give you time because I see you putting in the effort. It's not there. And so I think it sucks. It sucks.
Blows. Traded Chris Sale, which kind of needed to happen. It wasn't really going well for him in Boston, but it sucks to see these guys that won World Series with us, not Verdugo, but Chris Sale, and they're no longer here, and we're on to the next page, and it's kind of a blank page at this point. So
it definitely feels like, as an outside fan, like an end of an era almost.
Yeah.
And that can be good. That's sports in any sport. Eras and new eras start. It happens. But I think the start of this not being strong is crappy, especially when, like, you know, your manager gets thrown under the bus and it's, oh, he didn't want to spend money. He didn't want to go after the guys. And it's like, it clearly was a cap by ownership who said, hey, this is your limit. And then they go, well, what do you want from me?
Our president was interviewed the other day and was saying our chief baseball executive officer, Craig Breslow, who we signed in the offseason, was told to stay under these strict restrictions that they set. And he's following those, and that's what we got. And he just kept repeating that to reporters. It's like, dude, okay, but you said differently. Don't do this wish wash. Don't say it in the first place. Don't give us the hope. So that's all I got.
Totally. I think you nailed it. I think that's the thing. And then being in, you know, probably the toughest division in the sport, doesn't make it easier.
With our rival team pulling a top 3, top 5 player in baseball, making sign. We didn't even talk about Marcus Stroman, who had a career year from the Cubs, signed with the Yankees. Like, they juiced their team.
They did.
And we sat back and watched. The comparison I had, we're going to get to them, is the Cardinals. The Cardinals are in a very similar position to us. Had a mediocre year. Guys are getting old, making a couple moves. They really went after their bullpen and their arms and signed a lot of good guys out there, and they're trying something. We're in the exact similar position, and their management decided, hey, we're gonna give the fans what they want. Red Sox, a little more stick in the mud, middle more. That's Northeast way, a little more locked in on their task and their goal, and they don't care what anyone else thinks. But as a fan, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, and kind of like you said with the Cardinals, I guess we may as well just go into their division. We may as well.
Sure.
So I think actually, if I had to pick a winner in the NL Central today, it would be the Cardinals, and I think for the reasons you said,
Beautiful offseason.
Great offseason. They put the effort in. You see, okay, listen, your team is getting old. Your window is closing, but it's not closed yet. Yes, there's some top-heavy teams in the MLB, and it's going to be tough to defeat them. But you're surrounding those vets with a roster now to where you could anything is possible. Baseball is one of those sports you never know when your team gets hot. You never like truly, all spending all that money is great, but that doesn't matter. Like you can get hot at any time. And so I think a team like the Cardinals can easily win their division.
For sure.
Yeah. Relative teams, I think the Pirates, they're getting better.
Yep.
But as of now, they're a couple years out.
I'm excited to see O'Neal Cruz back and healthy.
Yes.
Tough injury last year, but he's a big part of their team. Obviously young. Hurts to not have that experience last year, but hopefully he can bounce back and have a good redo sophomore year, I guess. So
yeah. And I, just as a baseball fan, seeing McCutchen go back, it is awesome. Like
I love
it's cool.
Kutch. Yeah.
Like there's always that love there. And it feels like if this isn't his last year, he's got what, like 2, 3 maybe is your complete max, but realistically like 1 or 2 years. So it's cool to see him kind of end with the team and to be a vet who I think that's the cool thing with Baltimore that we saw is it was a team who was pretty like, they're young. They'll their future is bright, but not yet. And then they come out guns a-blazing. You never know when one of those teams is capable of doing that, whether it's the Tigers this year, whether it is, the Pirates and they just shock everyone. Kansas City, like you just never know when one of those teams all of a sudden takes that jump that isn't expected.
100%. Talk about little jumps.
Yeah.
A dark horse team for me to win this division, it's gonna be the Reds. They had a good basis last year with some young guys, Hunter Green, obviously O'Neal Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz. Having a absolutely star-studded welcome to the show. But they made a couple signings, signed a couple relievers to bolster their bullpen. Frankie Montes, who the Yankees traded for, put their eggs in that basket. He ended up not panning out, a couple injuries, PED, suspension, looking for a bounce back year. He's a really solid pitcher when he's on, so watch out for a bounce back year there. I like the Reds lineup. They're young, they're exciting, they're kind of got nothing to lose. So
I think that is the interesting thing is like I have the Cardinals. If I had to pick a winner, I'd put my money on them. But I think the Cubs are capable
they're 1 and 2, Cardinals, and it's right there.
Yeah, like that's a very good team. Milwaukee is kind of trending down. So I wouldn't, not to like the bottom of the league. I don't think they'll be like bottom 5 of the league, anything like that. But relative to kind of what we've expected them to be, there has been a bit of a dip. It's pretty crazy that the Brewers could realistically finish 4th, and that wouldn't shock me. Like I think the Reds, like you highlighted, the Cubs and Cards are all a little bit better. So
100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then we'll take a quick detour, I guess, to my division.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Well, there's 2 teams here that Here's what I'll say about the Angels. The only thing, the A's, I just feel bad. I mean, it's, to put it frankly, it's bullshit. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When just everything about it, like, oh, they're gonna get moved, and then Vegas is like, pump your brakes. We're not ready for that. I think you should stay in Oakland, and then all that. If you follow this, you've heard it for what feels like years.
Yep.
But with the Angels, their reasoning for not trading Ohtani being, oh, we didn't want our second half season ticket sales to go down. We didn't want seats to not be as full without Ohtani. And you lose him for nothing. So was that worth it? That second half dip?
That literally cannot be the reason. Like they're covering something up.
It can't. It's psychotic. That is enough to get you fired.
Yes.
If I hear that, you're gone. That's insane. Like, also, why would you ever admit that?
Like, yeah, that's really bad. Actually, like all around.
It's ridiculous. I don't want to spend too much time on the Angels.
One more. Anthony Rendon needs to. I get it, bro. I get it. I love my family. I love my friends. They like I probably agree with what you're saying, but the way you did it and just went about it just lost a lot of respect for me. I can't lie, because I've always been fine with him. I know he had the stuff going on last year, and it's been a consistent talk. He went to LA and stopped being a real baseball player and took the money and stopped really caring. I was kind of fine with him up until this recent interview. I'm like, all right, bro, you've lost it for me.
And again, kind of like you said, it's not what you say a lot of the time, it's how you say it. And the way he talks about the Angels, the way he talks about his job is so dismissive.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. And it's like, you're not going to be good. So you're just like, I got my bag. Yeah. I don't really care. Like, I fully understand family being first.
100%.
Totally get it. I'm not mad at that at all. I think the people that across sports who are like, oh, their heart's not really in it. Like, LeBron spent time with his family instead of he missed a game to go see Bronny play at USC, a regular season game. Like, dude, relax. It's okay. It's not. But the season hasn't even started, and it feels like it's done for the Angels.
Yeah.
I guess it. Yeah.
Dark path if I'm a fan, bro. I'm not feeling too good.
Yeah. And them not trading Ohtani worries me about Trout. I don't maybe I'm crazy. I just don't see them trading him.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're.
And he said he didn't want to be. He came out and said that's the easy way out. Like, I want them to bring guys in and build around me, and here's the message isn't clear enough. But
yeah, and you see a player like Trout say that. You see a player like Aaron Judge, who is obviously like best friends with Blake Snell, so it makes more sense for him to be so heavy on trying to recruit him. But you see these superstars of teams being like, hey, we've got to surround our teams with talent, even the Angels who aren't good. And then I think, sorry to go back to the Red Sox, but hearing Raf be like, listen, we know what it is. We need help. Is another like bad sign. That's another like, wow, your superstar is like, dude, we're not good enough as is. This team is not good enough to get it done. So I think it's tough. If you're an Angels fan, I guess you're used to disappointing. That was not meant to be a knock, but I guess it comes off that way.
It was,
yeah. More of a reality than a diss. And then of course you've got the Astros in here. They're one of those teams where it's just like, see you in the playoffs.
They're back, and they got Josh Hader, and they're reloaded.
Yeah, it's It's the same old Astros. You can't count them out. My guess, if I were to guess today, I'd probably say they win the division, even though World Series champ Texas Rangers are in here, and they
Yeah.
surely have something to say about it.
Yeah.
And then for my Mariners, I think,
How we feeling, man? How we feeling?
I feel much. It was this offseason was so weird because it went from doing nothing. Every Mariners post, all of the comments were do something, please do something. All these superstars being moved, signing places, being traded. Nothing is happening for the M's. It's just like, what are we doing? And then they end the offseason making 12 trades.
And they were great moves, I think, all around.
I
It
think so
looked kind
too.
of scary at first. I was like, Gino's gone, and oh man, this is gone. But
Yeah,
overall, the give and get overall pretty solid. I'd be happy. I'd be
I,
if I was Mariners fan, I'd be pretty happy.
yeah, and that's how I feel now too. And I think it's weird because it's like, what were you trying to tease the fan base a little bit of like, we're gonna sit, we're calling it, we're not gonna do nothing. Just kidding. We're here.
Yeah.
We want to be competitive. And I think, the biggest thing is for Julio, uh, I don't want to say a critique, well, kind of a critique that he had last year from especially being a Mariners fan, being in Mariners circles, things like that, is him not taking the step up necessarily leadership wise
Yeah.
of saying, hey, this is my team. And it doesn't have to be in an asshole way, but like, I'm the franchise of this team. I am going to be the best player, and I am going to take us as far as we can go.
Mhm.
I want that World Series. He posted it at the Super Bowl, seeing the Chiefs win. Of like, man, I need to experience this. I need this. I've got to win one. I have to. Like, you see the hunger already,
Mhm.
and I think Julio is a guy who's more than capable of 30 plus home runs with ease. I think that's possible. Like, the team goes as far as he does, and it's
Yep.
a kind of a simple thing in sports of the superstar takes you as far, but I think this is the year. I do think he can compete for AL MVP.
Top 10 in the MLB
Yeah,
players they just posted the other day. Like
which he was ahead of Bryce Harper, and people were so mad. People were real mad.
defensive and offensive combined. I mean, it's a convo.
Yeah,
It's a
I,
convo. I
I,
mean, I don't know.
it's one of those.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say either way, but
yeah. That's how I was. I'm like, I'm
yeah.
gonna sit this out.
Yep.
I'm gonna sit that. You guys can argue.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that division is another tough one. I think he's definitely 3 playoff caliber teams in there that
For sure.
are gonna kind of beat each other up.
For sure. Can
I
we
th- yeah.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
didn't know if
Go
you were
ahead.
about to jump over.
Do it,
I wanted to go to the AL Central because the
please.
NL East and NL West are pretty solid. I just kind of wanted to save those.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Do it.
but as for the AL Central, both Centrals are the weakest divisions on both sides.
Totally.
Which I kind of find interesting. But
Hmm.
my favorite bird's eye view, oh man,
Yeah.
probably Cleveland because they got Jose Ramirez
Yeah.
and a solid pitching staff, and they had a down year last year, very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, I would expect them to bounce it back this year and win
Hmm.
the division, but it's kind of a snooze fest of a division. I can't lie.
Uh, I agree with you because it's not.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just like no disrespect. Like obviously, any of these teams can go on a little run if they make it, the division winner, whatever. But the Royals are young, getting prospects. They made a couple trades, they did more than the Red Sox did, honestly. I can't hate on them. They're doing stuff. They got Bobby Witt Jr. extended, so that's
Stud.
alone in itself a great free agency because they got a future player to build around for the next 10, 11 years. But they a couple signings around their bullpen rotation. The Twins made a couple trades, couple rotational signings, nothing big there. Tigers lost 2 of their best starting pitchers to free agencies. So in Michael Lorenzen and Eduardo Rodriguez. So just gonna be a new. It's just this division's a question mark for me for sure.
It is, and I think here's one I'll ask you. Who is more likely? I'm not saying either of them do, but who is more likely to make the playoffs? The Tigers or the Royals? If you had to pick.
Based on the offseason, I'll go with the Royals.
Yeah.
Based on I'd go with the Royals. I think they made a couple more moves. The main thing for me with the Tigers is their rotation was a large part of their success last year, and they don't got 2 of those guys anymore. No. So I just think it's gonna be hard to eat up. That's like 300 innings at least. That's a lot of innings. Tariq Skubal a young guy who's been on the come up for them.
Yeah,
he should be a good piece. I don't know what their minor league program's looking like. Maybe they got a new kid on the block, but based on the offseason, what I've got now with no spring training games played from either of them, I'm gonna give it to the Royals.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, and again, I'm not saying either of them make the playoffs. Like you said, it's a weaker division in terms of like. I could really see like the Guardians or the Twins being like the only team to get into the postseason, and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of speaks more to how many good teams there are in the AL than like a knock on. Well, I guess it is kind of a knock on the division. It's just not as strong. It's not as strong.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'd probably lean Twins.
They made it last year.
That's. And it's going to come down to health again
for sure
of some of their top end talent. But
dang, was Buxton out last year in the playoffs, or did he come back?
I want to say he was back, but he missed.
He missed a large part of the season.
Yes, he missed
and then
a
in
lot
the
of
playoffs, they had a young guy going off. I'm forgetting his name, but he had in that wild card, he had a 2 home run game.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Guardians. That was my gut feeling, but I don't disrespect the Twins. They damn well could win 90 plus games, and
I think it's between those two. I think realistically, it's them. I'd be pretty surprised if it's the Tigers or Royals. And the White Sox, sadly, similar to Chicago teams. They're friends with the Bulls. What are we doing?
I feel so bad for Andrew Benintendi. Andrew, if you're listening, please come back to the Red Sox, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
Please. This is a PSA that we need.
This is a plea.
We miss you. But yeah, no, they're toast. Lost Tim Anderson today. I mean, he didn't have a good year for them last year at all, but he was supposed to be one of their future stars a little bit. This season prior, it was looking like that at least. It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
No, it's just kind of like, all right, well, there's the White Sox down there. Like I think they finish 5th. I'm taking the Royals over them. I'm probably taking the Tigers. Like I just don't really know what the White Sox future necessarily is, at least in the short term.
100%.
Obviously with the farm system, you'll see. You never know when the next guy is going to pop up, but don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
For the NL East,
let's jump out east.
let's jump out east. We've got, the Braves again are going to be in the thick of World Series contention.
Back and better than ever.
Yeah, I have to give credit. I think it was a Yahoo Power Rankings. It was one of the best articles I've read in terms of the ending. It ranked all the teams in the MLB. It had the second best team as the Braves in the league, and it had said there on any given day, this can be the best team in baseball. This could be the favorite to win the World Series, and I wouldn't look at you sideways. It's essentially flipping a coin between this team and the number one team. And then the number one team was the Dodgers, and he said heads. And that was the caption.
So crazy.
And I was like, that is a vet writer. As the writer brain in me was like, I dap you up for that, bro.
Crazy. Yeah.
That was hard of like, hey, listen, you can flip a coin here, but this is where I'm falling.
Yeah.
They're going to be back. Kellenic, obviously, as a former Mariner. You just never know. He was one of those guys that kind of sucked to lose because the potential was there.
100%.
But it just didn't quite click in the way that I think either side was kind of hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a fresh start with the Braves, whose offense is still that explosive, that could just be another bat, man.
Yeah.
Like, just another weapon.
Like I touched on Chris Sale joining them.
Man. Yeah.
Probably going to have his best season of his career now, fully healthy, no injuries. He's not going to fall off the team bike and sprain a pinky or something. Because he had some freak stuff happen in Boston. It was ridiculous. It was actually getting ridiculous. But I hope he does because I love Chris Sale. Won us a World Series.
Totally.
Wish him all the best. But it's going to be tough to see as a Red Sox fan. And re-signing Charlie Morton was huge. Been a part of their team for a while. Big in the postseason. So added a little bit to their bullpen. Stole Ronaldo Lopez from White Sox. Was probably one of their best bright spots last year. So
it's a good ball club, man.
Right back in it. And 1 through 9, debate again. Probably the best lineup.
Yep.
In hitting wise in the majors was last year. They're ridiculous. 1 through 5 is
like, dude. Chills.
Chills. Yeah.
This is unrelated to really anything. I guess I've just been excited for MLB The Show to come out. We're not sponsored. I would love if we were.
Sony San Diego.
I would please. We would happily endorse it. I'm low key mad Acuna wasn't the cover.
Got to be the cover.
Like, come on, man.
Got it.
Come on. What are we doing? That is whatever.
Vladdy's cool. No hate to
Vladdy's cool. Vladdy's cool.
Vladdy's cool, but
it's an upgrade over last year, which was really weird.
Really disappointing, really weird.
With Jazz. And then obviously the season not panning out necessarily the way we'd hope for him. Anyways, the MLB cover lore is a bit odd, but
yeah.
Congrats, Vladdy. You got the Phillies in here, who you can't count out.
Right back in it. Lost Rhys Hoskins in free agency, but he was out for the whole year last year, and they still managed to make it to the NLCS. So never know with this Philly team. They lost Craig Kimbrell, who was their closer last year.
Yeah,
but he also had a couple shaky games. He's on the back end of his career, so
yeah,
anything really can happen for this team, man. They can stop themselves, is what I got for them.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. Like they're the only ones that can kind of get in the way of themselves. Is like they have the potential, they have the tools, they got the star power, but it's we'll see if it all kind of gels together.
For sure.
You got the Mets. I mean,
big news today, Kodai Senga probably going to start the year out on the injured list, which sucks as a baseball fan because that ghost fork is just, it's like, it defies physics. Like I don't understand when I'm watching, like I'm trying to piece it together, but it doesn't make sense. So That's really the only thing I'm upset for because I don't really care that much about the Mets. But
Yeah.
couple good moves.
Yeah.
Sean Manaea from the Giants had a career year last year, so couple solid guys, but
Yeah. And then
they kinda sold it all last year, so it's kinda
yeah.
rebuild for a little while now, but,
Yeah. Like you kind of had the all in spend big bucks. Let's go for it. And it did not work.
I guess as a Red Sox fan, maybe they're like, "Look at the Mets. Look at how that went. You guys want us to follow that?" As a fan, yes, I would rather that,
Spend,
try that, but
I'd rather you
I guess
just
that's
throw
yeah,
some money. Just
yeah,
say, come on, take it. Take it. And
just
if it
send yeah,
doesn't work, hey, at least that's the thing. At least as a fan, when your team goes, F it, we're going all in this year. And if it doesn't work, you can at least go, man, at least you tried.
yeah.
But I feel like this is easily my most ranted about thing in sports is just like, please just show that you care.
Mhm. That's
Please.
it. That just a
That's
little
it.
bit. Just a little
Like,
bit.
like a tiny bit. And then you got the Marlins who made the playoffs this season.
Surprising.
Surprising. I don't
See
think
it happening
they
again.
do it again.
Yeah.
Just initial thoughts. I'd be pretty surprised. And then the Nationals who they're not ready for prime time yet.
Young, couple bright spots here and there, but
Yeah.
just gonna be another year of rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I
Yeah.
think to close this division out, over under 100 wins for the Braves.
I'll go over.
Can't be mad at that.
I'll go over. Yeah.
I feel like I probably would too
Yeah.
if I was a betting man, which I am.
All right. Sponsor
So
us. DraftKings,
yeah, exactly, man.
MGM,
Come on, man.
Northern Quest Casino,
Anywhere. Let us
Surf Club, or Turf Club Sportsbook.
all of them. We'll take
Please.
sponsorships from all of them.
Please.
So, that's that leaves us with one division, one last kind of one to touch on, the NL West. There's a team out there. They haven't gotten much buzz this year. The Dodgers. No one's talking about them. They added this scrub. Like, he's not very good, but they added him apparently, is Ohtani. No playoff experience or anything. Sorry. So yeah.
Not to mention one of the best prospects, I'm gonna say it now, to ever come over from Japan, in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He apparently, to all his Dodger teammates, obviously his teammates aren't gonna say he's trash, but all of them are saying he looks ridiculous, has nasty stuff. Teoscar Hernandez coming over from the Mariners.
Come on.
Just it didn't really pan out as well as it thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Had a all right year, but starts off spring training today with a double in his first at bat.
He was great.
Re-signed Clayton Kershaw just for a little added pitching, and also Tyler Glasnow from the Rays. Maybe their number one pitcher. So pretty good free agency for the Dodgers, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's very. It's hard to pick a team over the Dodgers, and again, it's not going to matter. It doesn't matter unless they get it, get the job done. But like, holy crap! It was heard like a massive in the mic.
Sorry about that.
With Yamamoto though, as you were saying, Freddie Freeman was like, "Thank God he's on my team." Listen, when I get again, he's his teammate. What else is he gonna say? Like, oh, he's not as good as advertised. But when Freddie Freeman is like, oh my goodness, like he's incredible, I'm gonna take his word.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of that simple. It's an easy litmus test. If Freddie thinks you're a good pitcher, you are.
Yep.
So Got them. You got the Diamondbacks. Just a great year last year.
Great year. Couple moves. Couple guys brought in, reinforcements.
Yeah.
They might be right back in the playoffs again, man. I don't
I think so.
know. I don't know.
I don't say it with I mean, I feel pretty good.
Because the Padres are just they're so good, but they're such a question mark.
They are.
They don't get it done with Juan Soto last year. They trade him away, get a little bit of a different team, and they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't know if that adds up.
No, and I love Fernando Tatis. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the league.
Yeah,
But
no hating on the Padres. They got blown out today. It's spring training, it happens, but
14-1.
it was a
Yeah.
very tough start, but they had some bright spots. Matsui coming over for them.
Yeah.
1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Like,
He was great. We were texting about it.
beautiful. Like
yeah.
this, they're a solid team, man. So there's the Phillies case. They're stopping themselves. They just did a
Without a doubt.
really poor, or I guess good job in the saying of it last year of stopping themselves. But
yeah, I totally agree. You've got the Giants as well, who I feel like could finish kind of middle of the pack in this division is kind of my prediction for
dark
them.
horse for me to sneak in, make the playoffs out of this division.
Fair.
I love what they did in the offseason. They made a couple moves, signed Young Ho Lee out of the South Korean baseball league, had an amazing World Baseball Classic, top 5 guy in average and on base percentage. Like, he's gonna look solid for them.
Yeah.
They're gonna need a lot more. They're gonna need a big jump, but they have the tools, man. Logan Webb is a top.
He's a dog.
I'd give him top 20 pitcher in the league. He's slept on.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a really, really good pitcher. They just haven't been getting the results last few years. So maybe with some more bats and different look, they can get those runs in for him. But I'm excited to. I'm gonna watch some more Giants games this year for sure. I love. I just am so excited. All these new moves, all these new faces. Man. It's a nice fresh reset.
Yes. Yeah. And then the last team we can talk about, the Colorado Rockies, they're just young and they've got some really nice pieces. I've seen some of those pieces a whole season of some of those guys. So it's pretty cool. A guy like Zach Veen is a piece to keep an eye on. He's freaky athletic, very quick, very speedy, very entertaining when he gets on base. He could steal at any time. There's never a time where you could be like, okay, he's gonna sit there and wait it out. No, he's ready to take off. They're not ready to make the playoffs this season. I always feel weird saying that now because, like, with Baltimore, it was just like, okay, sure, you're you're gonna do this year. So I'll never count a team out, but I'd be pretty surprised if the Rockies did anything. But they're young, they're moving in the right direction, and I'm kind of excited to tune in, see if they can, surprise some people. But
100%.
Yeah, that's. Expectations aren't high. Just seeing some of their young pieces take a step, if you're a Rockies fan, is all you want.
100%. Get some experience in.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's it. Kind of touched on every team, at least a little bit. Talked about some divisions. Mo, is there anything else that you're kind of itching to talk about?
Just real quick short list of some free agents left on the board for some teams. Blake Snell.
Yeah, man.
Gotta get signed. Jordan Montgomery. Michael Lorenzen, who had a career year, all-star for the Tigers last year. Matt Chapman. Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
JD Martinez. Veteran hitter.
Yep.
Can slot into any DH spot in the league. Mike Clevenger, Brandon Belt, another veteran guy. Kind of weird to not see him in a Giants uniform if that's what the case is going to be. Just Giants legend, multiple championships over there. Tommy Pham and Kike Hernandez, my guy. Miss him in Boston. Interested. I'm not surprised that LA is not going to pick him up. They're loaded, but
but
I wonder where he's going to be. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I think that's a big reason for me why I'm not ready to go out on a limb and name a champ, like a preseason champ. We were kind of talking about it off stream, but like until we see where some of these dominoes fall,
there's so many paths
and they're sizable. Like these aren't just like, hey, they have the potential to be okay. Like, no, Blake Snell can legitimately swing a contender.
Cy Young.
He's amazing. Like Cody Bellinger has struggled ever since playing at that MVP level, but who knows? Maybe, another change of scenery. You just don't know with some of these guys.
Montgomery did for the Rangers this last postseason run. Like there's just too many question marks to really solidify rankings and full predictions and all that. But
and it sucks. And I guess if we have to do a video without knowing, then we preface it with, hey, these are all the guys in free agency. We don't know where they're at. Where they go is going to matter significantly. But yeah, it's weird. The MLB definitely needs to work at fixing free agency.
At least have it done by the start of spring training. Like
that's
it's just weird. It's just weird. But
and I was watching the MLB network and I forget who said it, but he was like, when a guy isn't signed, he was talking about Cody Bellinger. He's like, when he's not signed and it's the start of January, you're like, okay, it's a little late. It's a little late, but it's not too late yet. He's like, it's spring training now. Guys are getting ready. They're getting in regular season form. It's late. Like we need to start going. We need to start signing some of these guys. Like let's kick it in gear, but with all that aside, there's so much talent in the league right now, and I am so excited to have some baseball back, baby.
We're back. More games tomorrow and more games for the foreseeable future. So we're in it.
We're in it, baby. I am so excited. Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to look this up because by the time they see it, games are going to be starting. But you got 4 games tomorrow. So you got that to look forward to. And then
right around when we're posting. So if you want to have, if you got two screens, have the game on up here, see what we're saying over here. So
hear what we say about that is the cool thing too about this video is we at least touched on every team. So your favorite team was talked about at some point. Whether
might have been shorter or longer than others, but we touched on you guys. We touched on you.
That's the thing. It's like, when we're making content, we can't spend the same amount of time on every team. Especially, hey, if you don't put the effort in to show me something, you don't get our time.
I kind of ran it a little too long for the Red Sox. Like I probably should have just stared at the screen and not said it, and then we could have moved on. But
roll your eyes for like 2 minutes straight, just yawn, laugh, cry, feel all the emotions,
go through every emotion, but
and then call it a Red Sox review. But we're gonna have MLB content for you throughout the season. So this will be the first of many pieces. We'll do some, predictions and things like that a little closer. But yeah, there's some exciting stuff. We're ready for this season. Even if our teams, may not be in the best spot, we're ready for some baseball.
100%, man. Can't wait.
Mariners are winning over 90 games, though. I'm just saying.
Whoa, I don't know about all that.
I'm just saying. They're winning over 90. Listen, they won 88 last year. I feel it, baby. I feel the 90. Song of the pod?
Song of the pod. Let's do it. Let's give the people what they want, what they're here for.
Let's do it. Mo,
start us off.
Oh, what a gentleman. Look at us. That was so kind. I've
Oh,
got go ahead. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I got a little heater.
Come on.
Kind of throwback from one of my favorite albums of all time,
Oh.
Because the Internet by Childish Gambino.
All you need to listen.
I got Shadows.
Great.
Shadow, just a song that goes through like 3 different forms. 3 different forms.
Yeah.
The end instrumental is one of my favorite instrumental. It's just beautiful.
So good.
Dark, synthy. It's just, oh man, great song all around. Go listen if you have it.
Great pick. Great pick for a great album.
Thank you.
I've got Don't Ask Me Why by Billy Joel, who is one of my favorite artists ever. For those of you who don't know, I love Billy Joel. And for some reason, Billy Joel just feels like a baseball artist.
Yeah.
Like certain artists feel like certain sports.
It's on the radio while the game's up on the TV. The kids are jumping in the pool, grilling dogs.
Yeah, homies with you.
Oh,
You
man.
got, your button up on, your summer button up on. Like, it is some Billy in the background. It just feels right.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite album covers ever. So great song. You will
Great choice.
definitely enjoy it. Baseball is back. Let us know your expectations for your teams.
Yep.
Some surprise teams, some sleeper teams, some overrated teams, underrated moves, whatever you got.
Let us
We would
know.
love to hear it. And that's it, baby. Baseball's back.
Can't wait.
Come on.
With that, we will see y'all next week, everybody. Have an amazing weekend. Enjoy baseball.
Go M's.
See y'all next time. Go Sox,
See ya.
baby.